Howdys and salutations, y'all! Welcome back to another art fight stream. Feels like we've been doing a lot of those lately, but we've still got plenty to go. It's been a lot of fun. And Pomato, if you're here before viral, you're way before. It's gonna be a hot minute before we're looking at that sort of thing. But good to see you. Thanks for dropping in. Let's see. Not a lot of catch up. Just a heads up that I am super tired today, so we'll see if we make it the full length of the stream. If we wrap early, then we do. I'll see if I can make it up some other time. But kind of is what it is. Yeah, I'm still jet lagged from traveling last week, so I'm trying to get that sorted out. Alas. But that doesn't mean that I was too jet lagged to do stream prep, because we've got good stuff coming for today's stream. Little bit of line work to wrap up, a little bit more to do some cleaning, that's fine. We've got the hands, which I'm just going to have a few more goes at. I actually weirdly enjoy drawing hands, wonky as they are. They're a lot of fun. Whereas boots, I'm not going to attempt to just freehand. I actually found some references on Pinterest, so we got boot options, plenty of boot options of similar-ish styles, so hopefully that'll make it a little easier and we'll be able to get some good drawings at different angles for these, clean them up a bit. And then we're on to shading and values and all that fun stuff, which is really the part I enjoy the most. So we'll see. No, definitely not that, but battery blow up, that's exciting. Dare I ask what led to that? It's not usually what you want to happen. Let's see. In the meantime, I'm going to start with the hands because they're kind of, I don't know. This one, scraggly as it is, does look like a hand. It's just gripping like a little too hard, so we can probably do some tweaks and not make it too bad. Oh, yeah, Note 7's tended to do that just anyway. I remember those days. Exciting times. Do you remember when they wouldn't even let those on airplanes? That was wild. Well, I am sorry for the loss of your phone. That's never fun. Yeah. I mean, most of them didn't, so you got lucky question mark to experience one of the ones that actually does. I hope everyone was okay. That's, it's not generally what you want to happen with phones. Okay, good. Good. I can tell the angle on these are still probably a little too intense. Alright, I'll curve these a little less so they're not as grippy. But man, I like the fingers when they're all wonky. There's a little more character. Ah, good. Well, as they say, lightning never strikes twice. So I'm sure you'll be fine. But do be careful. Let's see. Ah. Well, tragic in some ways, but at least it probably won't blow up. Probably. So it really should be knuckles facing the camera, a little more of the palm visible. And then finger point there. Okay. I'm gonna just toss the line work on this one. We'll still have the silhouette to work with. That'll be fine. We'll get a fresh start on this hand entirely. Oh, jeepers. That really is unusual. They're much less known for doing that, typically. Although, I mean, you know. Apparently it still happens. It's like... Who knows? Good. Oh, that's the bad part because no one caught the fire? I mean, I'd still say it's better that no one got caught in the fire. That's true, yeah. You wouldn't want to come back only to find out that your computer had sabotaged your house. But I also wouldn't want to be, like, sleeping in a different room and not realize it until, like, way later. So I think it's better. I mean, I don't think you can arrest just, like, a MacBook, can you? Like, what's the judge gonna say? Oops, oh, jeepers. Let me save. Well, I mean, thinking about if it committed arson, that implies that it's a crime and not just fire. So how, you know, like who's getting charged with that? They're gonna go find Steve Wozniak and be like, "Yo, you're arrested for arson, conspiracy to plant a MacBook." Hey, Galactic, you're not wrong. Be a wild scene. There we go. That's a much better hand than last time. I'm doing okay. I'm trying to stay awake. I'm still a little jet lagged, truth be told. But we're getting there. And honestly, I found that like these late-ish evening for me anyway, art sessions like actually help wake me up. Ends the day on a good note if it's been a long one. How are you doing? Like jeepers. So apparently when I'm tired, I can't draw a straight line for the life of me. There we go. I hope things are good with you. I know Art Fight's been keeping everyone busy this month. Oh, yeah, if the battery's big, that's actually really, like, you should get that replaced. I mean, if it's normally that size, then, like, you know, it's fine. But if it's expanded, it's not that it'll, like, explode or start a fire or anything, but it can release a toxic gas. So, like, don't sleep next to that. There's places that can, like, replace that. Oh, yeah, no, I've already done, like, most of my night routine, so I'm gonna finish streaming and then just, like, straight to bed. Guess, like, I don't know what exactly it is. Toxic stuff, though, not just, like, smelly. Yeah, but, like, it's sometimes it doesn't always have a scent. It's just, like, I don't actually know what's in those, to be fair. But, like, generally, if the battery's expanding, that's more, like, silent dangerous. There we go. That's less bad. Yeah, I do recommend against doing that. Generally speaking, it's does not rank highly in the healthy habits category. Although I'm sure there's someone out there who has a YouTube channel where all they do is like stinking sniff lithium batteries. So you know, there's a niche for everything. I don't recommend it though. I mean, you can once. You'll probably regret it. That's sort of like saying like you can eat anything. Like yeah, technically you can eat anything once. It's surviving to do it a second time that's the hard part. But yeah, long story short, maybe don't sniff the batteries. Jeepers, can you imagine if like sniffing batteries became the next Tide Pod challenge? It'd be the worst. Some stores still have Tide Pods like locked up in back corners because of that. It cracks me up. I mean, if you don't have a nose, then you're all set, mate. Like, you know, knock yourself out. Although, please don't. Still not recommended. Okay. So I know we've got the reference shoes here. Yeah. Yep. I don't care if it's cherry infused. It's still not a good idea to sniff that. Okay. Back on the line work layer. Back with this. I meant it sarcastically. Definitely. I mean, depending on what you sniff, I guess it could happen literally, but please don't. Well, that will be a regrettable action. Okay, and then I really want this opening to start narrower. I pulled up a shoe reference. I found some shoes that are similar to the ones in the ref, and so I'm going to try to go off of these. See what we can do. Hey, that's good. Turtles usually live a long time. And they're cool. Most people like turtles. Like, I'm not sure I've ever met anyone who like expressly disliked turtles. They seem like, by all standards, pretty chill creatures. Yeah, well, human intervention can, you know, cut any lifespan short, but generally speaking, if left alone, they do pretty well. Or if cared for. You could, like, become a zoo turtle. Let's see. I'm going to make this slightly smaller and clean up some of these rough edges. Because I've been getting a little scratchy with my line art, and that's not what I want. There you go. Oh, really? Oh, I imagine a pet turtle would be an interesting one to have. Let's see. The only pet I ever had was a crawfish. Which, as it turns out, those things live a long time in captivity. Okay. I'm gonna figure out where the leather is first, and then actually, like, do the ties based on that. I know that the ties should be affecting the leather shape, but, like, I think it'll be easier this way. Oh, really? Close enough. We'll just clean up this layer a little bit. There we go. Good as new. Well, they didn't know any better, but I'm sorry they ate your fish. Okay. Also, I'm going to give it a slightly more solid toe box. The actual ref has a more solid one, too. We can, actually give that a little bit of depth. Not a ton, just a little bit. Let's see. There we go, I like that better. What would you describe yourself in what way? Human, generally speaking. Let's see. Oh, hey, congrats, you're a pop star then. There was that really famous song about you not too long ago. I guess it was like 10 years ago now. Wasn't it a Katy Perry one? About being a bag floating on the wind? Cool, I didn't know I was in the presence of a famous person. Or, trash bag. I guess grocery sack. Guess I should aim for these to line up at least a little bit. Okay, I'm putting a little more thought into this second round. Oh, sorry, I guess that counteracts the one you gained earlier in the stream. Net zero brain cells. My bad. If you're going to come at a very sleepy me with some chaotic energy, then expect to get chaotic energy in return. And that's not a fighting thing, that's just, it's fun. It'd be banter. At least my best attempt. Okay, good. Good, as long as it comes back. Don't want to let them wander off into the wilderness too long. Let's see. I'm spending too long on the shoelaces when what I really need to do to make this look decent is also get this part less wrong. I'll also do the shoelaces, like, don't get me wrong, but need to narrow this whole section a little bit. That pull needs to be coming from right where the lace ends. We'll call that a knot. It's not a knot, but it'll do. We may come back to it later. That's a useful number to have. I mean, most things usually don't need more than 3 at most. Like, sometimes stuff needs like 4, but it's rare that something needs 5, so you'll be good. You've got a backup. You can even charge a couple things. Eesh. I don't even know what that is, but it sounds cool. Oops, that was the eraser. I need a slightly more delicate eraser for this little bit. There we go. So what is a super scope? Okay. I'm gonna, like, decrease the line weight on this whole area now, because it's, like, way too bold. With all these details. Oh no, that is a lot of batteries. Game accessories were very ambitious in those days, huh? Well, for something like that, you might need a few more batteries then. I recently bought a whole bunch of, like, AAA, like, rechargeable batteries. Just because I've got one thing that uses them, but it burns through them so fast. Yeah, there's a lot of fun old games out there still. A lot of fun new games out there. Just good game options for these days. So how old are you talking? I mean, you mentioned the Super Nintendo. Do you ever play like old computer games like Myst? Ah, man, Myst was a blast. I loved that game. I mean, I was terrible at it, but I had a good time. Or, oh, just the other day I was playing a text adventure. Those things, like, what was it called? I think it was literally just called Lost Pig or something. It was part of like a text adventure game jam. there's all sorts of stuff out there these days, but it was quite fun. Oh, that's the wrong layer. Let's see. Oh, dang, yeah, Atari's fun. Although I'll admit I never had that much fun with Adventure on there. It's just a little too opaque for me to understand it fully. But it looks like there's fun to be had on it. Okay, let's keep going on these lines, see what I can do. And then we'll get into shading here in a bit. It does feel a little bit like the whole boots may be too bold, but like I don't know, the boots it's a part of the outfit. It's not bad. And it's a foot forward, so it makes sense that wouldn't be eye-catchy. Still, I may trim down some of the line weight one more time. Just like focusing on specific lines that aren't exterior, so they don't need to be as bold. Especially some of the laces. The laces could really benefit from being a little more faint. There's just a lot going on here, and it's still not the most important detail. Let's see, and then we can increase it a little bit on these two. I went too far on those. Earthbound? Oh, I need to play Earthbound. It's inspired so many other games that are quite popular these days. Like, and I mean, I loved Undertale back when it came out, so I've been meaning to play Earthbound for a while. Because it takes a lot of heavy inspiration from Earthbound. I hear it's fun. I hear it's challenging. Yeah, I believe it. Still, it looks like a charming game nonetheless. Okay, good. That feels less overburdening on the boot. Oh, dang, 2 months. Although, I guess I have to ask, how long does it usually take you to beat a game? Because I can spend a long time doing some pretty basic games, to be fair. I'm just not very fast. Oh, that's the spot on my screen, that one. And then there's big games, like, there's big modern games that can just take an eternity. I spent an actual, like, year on Elden Ring. Like, a year and 2 weeks, actually. It was a long time. Enjoyed the heck out of that game, but it's too big. Oh, yeah, I imagine that would add some time to it as well. Some of those old games, they did not tell you anything, ever. There's something to be said for having to just figure it out, but there's also something to be said about not spending, like, 100 hours on a puzzle. Let's see. It's actually pretty close on that one. I want to smooth that line and just toss the old one entirely. There we go. Okay. And now we can really angle this foot if we want. Do some better tweaks to this whole section, because it's just not doing it for me. Although the lace line weight towards that upper part, not bad. But room to improve. Let's see. What we can do is we could even move it like way off to the edge over here. And just kind of like have it arc like that. I think narrower into wider might be good. Yeah. And then we can tweak this to like flick out a little bit, give it just a tiny bit of flare. Whoops, lost more of that line than I had intended. Line weight is one thing the vector lines struggle with a little bit more. Just give a little bit of texture at the top of that. That'll be fine. Let's see what we're up against here. Okay, I just need to do the laces, and then I'll be to the part that I consider the fun part, and I'm very excited for that. I need to do the laces, and I need to fix the value section. That's fine. Zoop. Boom. Fixed. Easy. Patch the little holes. Yep, there we go. Sometimes those sneak in under the lines. Let's see, are these pure black or... Okay, they are, so I can just do that then. Cool. Okay, so looking at this, let's go back to 30. We already have line weight issues with some of these. Oh, that's why I was on the wrong G pen. Okay. This gives us the grittier look. Real G-Pen's a little smoother. That's fine. We're going to stick with gritty for now. I kind of like it for the texture on this one, and certainly don't plan to change it this late in the game. I am not redoing all of the line work on this piece. There we go. Okay. So we can kind of just focus on one side for now and just kind of do it down, and then we'll catch the other ones. I mean, yeah, I've heard of them. There's bootleg stuff at just about everything. I don't usually go for them, though. Still, sometimes there's charming ones out there. I mean, I enjoy the knockoff ones anyway. I'm not into like actually full-on pirated games. If there's a game and I want the game but I don't want to support the devs, then I find a way to get it on like eBay or buy it used or something. It's just not worth the risks. Still, I mean, the stuff people can do with like emulators and stuff these days are pretty impressive too. Yeah, no worries. I mean, look, I'm not here to like dox you or whatever. That's not the right word for it, but like to call you out on it. I just personally don't take the risk. Yeah, it's a different lace pattern than the other one. Somehow. Wait, seriously? That's impressive. Oh, that's where I went wrong. It was this one. And then all the subsequent ones. So let me do a little tweaking of these so that we can actually get our nice intermittent interlaced grid pattern going. Let's see. Cool. That'll be useful for all those Smash tournaments that Nintendo keeps canceling for some reason. I mean, maybe. I'm sure they'll figure out something useful to do with it. There we go. Those actually turned out better than the laces on the other side, too. A little more of a logic behind them. Let's see. Although the boot crinkle on this side's better, but yeah, it's fine. At some point when we've got this many art pieces that we're trying to do for Art Fight, and I've only got so many hours in the day, and I'm like borderline falling asleep on stream, like I'm just gonna move on a little bit, make sure that we keep making tangible progress. And like, it's not like I'm unhappy with where we're currently at on this. I think it's looking pretty cool. Well, just a little crinkle to give some texture to the top there. Clean up the value section behind it. Fill in that gap just in case. Erase that a little bit, even though it probably doesn't matter. Okay, boots are looking better. Hands are looking much better. Face is cartoony, but I'm going to lean into that and just kind of let the shading do its thing. I always say this, and I always do it, and it's still, like, it gets better so slowly, but I need to keep working on faces. They're just tricksy things. Oops, yeah, let's do this with the right color on the right layer, maybe, if we're going to mess with it. Part of the problem might be the lack of chin I give characters, but then when I give a character like chin at all, everyone immediately assumes it's a guy. I'm just like, dagnabbit. Whoa, hold on. Yeah, there we go. Probably do have, like, generally too much space under the mouth. I think that's part of the issue with this. And we could move the mouth down to try to balance that, but it still ends up with weird proportions and such. Because, like, now it's a little bit off from the ear. And, like, that's a whole thing, and it's going to make the neck longer. And it, like, doesn't really look that much better. Aye, no problem. Internet, do that. Let's see. There we go. Gotcha. I like that a little better for the face. Here, let me do one thing, and then it should make it easy to clean all this up. Line work and value and silhouette. Actually, not silhouette. Line work and value, though. We're going to move them together. Scoot the whole thing down a tiny bit. That way we're still getting the head in the right place, and we're not messing with our proportions or anything like that. And the overall still looks solid. Nice, okay. I'm gonna have to do some cleanup, but that's okay. That up just a bit. I'm just gonna let the color fill do its thing there and not worry too much about it. I just gotta get this little stray line out of there, and this little stray bit of value out of there. Oops. None of that was correct. Wrong color, wrong layer. Add one more hair strand to cover this awkward joint. I realize it's kind of a cheatsy move, but, like, it just looks awkward otherwise. And while I do try to learn on every piece I do, including, and honestly, especially art fight ones, that's not the thing that I'm focusing on learning right now. Actually, I've been having a much more interesting time learning. Like, I like the way this person, CareBearTomo, who's the one we're attacking, by the way, I guess I should probably throw that in chat, is the target. This is Izetta by CareBearTomo that we're drawing. Let's see. The hands look a little small now, but I'm going to leave them alone. Actually, you know what? Let's do the visual test. That's the wrong one. Still look reasonable. Hand does look small. Neck angle's a little weird, but, like, not wildly out of place. Let's flip it vertically again. Back of the head's looking a tad flat. That's interesting. Other stuff, the stance is, like, a little awkward, a little overly leaned into, but it's not bad. I think the finger angle on the hand is fine. I'm inclined to say let's leave it as is, with the exception of, like, trying to straighten out the back hair, the back of the head hair. Just a hair. Not much. I just reversed the image to try to catch any, like, weird funkiness. Let's look back at our reference, because that hair's pretty tight into the curve, so I don't want to get too many stray strands going in here. I want to like just increase the whole arc like that, maybe. You can still have some interior strands. I'm okay with that. I'm going to get rid of that line. And we're going to smooth that point out just a little bit. There we go. On the value layer, we can clean up the stuff that's now outside the lines and fill in where it belongs. There we go. Head feels more balanced now. Flipping it back, still looks good. No, I didn't get hit. No, nothing exciting like that. Just struggling to stay awake. Although actually, again, when we're in this phase, if we were like at the start of the line art, this would be a rough stream for me. But we're at this phase. This is fine, honestly. Right, we'll deal with that one in a. Whoops. Okay, well, I guess we're gonna just have our shadows and our highlights. And I know what type of layer to make both of these. I'm gonna do it early so we don't get bitten later. Color. Why did it get renamed shadows? Did I type that twice? Weird. Really am tired. Okay, and we'll clip both these layers. That'd be quite a smack. You'd have to send them a heck of a distance. Appreciate that, though. Actually, what I do need to do real quick is take a restroom break so I can focus while we do. And since we're right between steps, I think it's a good time for it. So I know you were just away, but I'll be right back in just a couple minutes, too. We'll try to keep it quick. See y'all in a few. Howdys and salutations, y'all! We are back! And by we, I mean I. There's just one of me. So next up should be fun. And, let's see. It's gonna be an interesting one. I'm gonna have to get creative with it a little. Oh, dang, you got the special text. As far as I'm aware, you exist. No, I meant we as in on this side of the microphone. No, y'all are definitely still out there, and I appreciate that for the record. Dang it, you got me slipping into like my slight southern accent. That ain't what I want. But yes. So now we've got values, and this is where we can have some fun with it, emphasize different things, or at the very least, just get a little variety. So on our value layer, now we're going to keep the line work. And this is mostly going to be done with the fill tool. I'm curious. I am actually going to pull from our ref just as a starting point. Let's see. We're in the face. They've got a lot of like smooth shading in here, which is nice, but also going to create a little bit of funkiness. So what I'm looking for at this color I've pulled is the value. That one's 93, really? Oh, right. Okay. So that's pretty high value. I tend to go slightly more muted when I'm drawing, so I may like bring that down just a hair. Now, that's a powerful emoticon you've got there. Okay, that one's at 95. These are, yeah, okay. 85. So 90s and 80s for this section. I may go like 75. Well, you gotta be careful with skin tones, but let's start with this one. And we'll adjust if we need to, because a lot of the way value ends up actually looking is relative to the other stuff around it. So let's start with this. I am going to go for a pure white for the whites of the eyes. Just keeps that simple. A big old dragony eyes type deal. I know they've got less dragon eyes here, so we'll decide if we want to keep dragon pupils or like more human pupils for it. I'm still debating, honestly. We've at least got a skin value that we'll start with, so we'll catch all the skin areas with that. Whoops. There. And this hand, too. I think with this character, that's it. Oop, we don't want to get that wrinkle. I'll have to do this a little bit by hand. That's fine. Not really a condiment guy. I'm very plain. Plain and boring. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to go one down for this really light cloth. That way it's still got some contrast, but nothing crazy. Just like the other classic question that everyone asks, you've got Coke or Pepsi, and I'm just like, I never really drank soda much as a kid, so I don't know. And I still don't. Uh-oh. How did that autofill to that color? I don't know what I even pressed to trigger that. Who knows? I mean, yeah, but I don't like the fizziness of it. And I realize that I'm like the only person on Earth, it seems, who isn't a fan of that. And it's really funky because, like, my job is related to that stuff. So I'm like, well, this is awkward. Oops. Right. Just cleaning up the edges on this a little bit. It's a little early to do this, but I'm going to forget otherwise, so I figured let's just have a go at that. And what is happening here? Why is this line here? Is that like an old wrist? Okay, I need to go back to the line work layer and like sort that out. With the correct color of line, preferably. That, we can clear that out. Then I'm just going to have to do a little bit of cleanup on colors, which is fine. Then we want like no color in this section. And we want to go back to some color in here. Okay. We can add more wrinkles in there if we remember to, but it's not the priority right now. There we go. You can try. It's not the easiest for me to swap them around, but I can have a go at it. What song are you asking? I'm gonna drop down 2 for these pants and see how that does. Oh, that's literally the default color. That might be too dark. We can see. Because I can go pretty dark for the leather on this jacket part, the jacket shirt. Hey, no problem. And the crook, I may go just 1 lighter. Not much contrast, but it's a little bit. I'm actually going to go real bright. Maybe this level of bright for this metal part. I still want the skin tone to be the brightest. Just because of the nature of the character. And even then, it's not the brightest. The eyes are brighter, and a few other details. But I want the skin tone to be brighter than the belt buckle. For this, we could go 1 darker for the bag, so it'll have a little pop to it. Oceans? Who's it by? That's that. We could go a tiny bit lighter for this bag. But I actually want... Oh, actually, hold on. The belt ought to be even, like, 1 darker, shouldn't it? A little pop. And we'll keep the bag in line with the belt. Along with the drawstring on this one. Margaret Oceans. Let me see. Hold on, let me pause the music for a second while I check this out. Let's see. I see one called Oceans by Hillsong United, but I don't see Oceans by Margaret. Sorry, I've got like a semi. I mean, it's not that limited, but if it's not on Spotify, then I can't play it. I had to put in like a music request command or something like that just to see what we can do. Ah, yeah. I can't play it from YouTube though, unfortunately. I can only do Spotify stuff. There's a lot of good music on YouTube though that I'd be fun to at some point. My music setup is super basic, I'll be honest. It's something that I ought to improve, but it's just been kind of like a low priority. So boots are in line with the shirt color. That's fine. A lot to fill in there, that's okay. Oh, yep, I hit the background. I knew it. Even before it lagged, I was like, that seemed too close. Okay. Now this we're probably going to hit the background at some point because it's all so close. Hey, we didn't. Nice. Okay. I feel like the skin tone is actually pretty close to the tail undertone, too. But then the tail itself is somewhere, I think it's going to be more like this, where it's somewhere between the pants and the clothes. Maybe one darker than that. But then I worry it's going to just blend in with the pants. That said, the color difference should be pretty good. Hit the background. Okay. Now I'm going to go for the slightly lighter tail color, solely because I think the tail color actually ends up matching the eye color, and I don't want that to be like too crazy dark either. Let's see. Good fill. Pupil's obviously going to be a fair bit darker. Let's see. Ah, rats. Yeah, Spotify is great for most stuff, but every once in a while I run into a song where I'm like, oh, that'd be perfect for the stream playlist, and then it's just not on there. Like, well, sorry about that. Alas. And then I need to be careful that the horns aren't quite skin tone either. They also should pop more than that. I guess I could make them brighter than skin tone, because technically skin tone's like, oops. Like that. We could do the skin tone brighter to provide a little more contrast if we want. And we have to do that with the hands too. I just worry that that's getting like a little too bright at that point. Like for the skin, like that it's going to start popping more than we want it to. Yeah, no, I kind of like it better when it's a little more subtle. But we'll see. What that means, though, is that we can kind of leave the skin and the horns roughly on par for now. And I guess we can make the horns darker, they'll blend into the hair. We can make the hair lighter, both of them. That's probably actually accurate. And that solves that problem. Let's see. I don't know that one either. Let me look it up. Yeah, that'll put an interesting emphasis on the hair. We can start with that. So starting with this from the value layer. Give me a sec. I'm going to pause the music and take a look at this one. I don't think my drawing's that good. Be cool, though. Let's see. Maybe next time. I think she's supposed to be part dragon. Sorry, this is just me being overly cautious. I tend to stay away from songs with lyrics. That seems like it'd be a catchy song though. I'm gonna add it to the list to listen to later and check it out. But like especially like it's just with all the weird stuff with Twitch and the new tags and everything, even the name of the band might like get me in trouble. So if I don't tag the stream right, so I have to be like super careful on that stuff now. But yeah, no, this is the CareBearTomo's character, not my own. And she's dragonborn, but with more human features than most. It's actually an interesting reference sheet. Let's see, I can pull it up from earlier in chat. The full reference has this one, Dragon Girl / D&D character. But they created a model of her too, which is really cool. Like you don't see that very much. Or maybe someone did and did an art fight attack earlier with a model of her. In any case, it's fun. It's got the little horns, they sewed a tail and everything. So. I guess the tail does look a little alligator-ish. Yeah, no, I don't know. She seems just like a fun character. Okay, so we got our values in. Now, let's do our shadows. This one does sound like pirate music, and I don't know why. It's from an art game, believe it or not, called Passpartout. But yeah, no, this one in particular, the like steady accordion beat, I think it's supposed to be French, but it does also have a pirate vibe. Okay. So wait, how do I want to do the shadow layers? Do I just want to... Okay, wait. So if I were to just as like, I'm just gonna grab this as a temporary fill, just to test the layers real quick. So we fill that on there, which we're gonna undo later for sure. Or, darn it, that's on the wrong layer. So if I filled that, and then on shadow, I just went through with like a slightly darker gray, how would that work? Nah, it puts the gray on top of it. What I need to do is put a color layer on top of everything? And then have shadows and highlights not be colors? Oh boy. So in that case, value would be this. Oh yeah, that's some great pirate music right there. Pirates of the Caribbean is an excellent choice. Pirate music. Although personally, my musical taste is probably weird. I'm really into electro swing. I find it to be quite fun. But it's such a like varied genre that it's still kind of a grab bag if a song's going to be catchy or not. I'm like, well, like, yeah, it's electro swing, but it ain't my thing. But there's so many that are good. Okay, so this is the color layer. And I clip it over everything. Then shadows, if I do this, yeah, it won't work. Okay, so shadows needs to be its own layer. Oh, yes. Well, there's some electro swing that goes that way, actually. There's a really good Betty Boop remix. But also, like, good rhythm is always wonderful. The art music I listen to on stream because it's copyright free and like nice and relaxing for a chill stream and chat and everything is very different from the music I listen to when I'm doing my own art. Let's just... Okay, so that's what we want, basically. Now, is there a way for this to just... I guess if I don't clip any of these layers, then it'll just work. So I could go onto the shadow layer and add like a really dark shadow underneath. Or not. Oh, it's because the shadow is a color layer as opposed to a normal layer. Right. Okay, so I can add that in there, and the red will be an excellent color over top of it. Well, we'll still get our lovely shadows and everything. But in any case, we tend to go for different colors for the shadows too, so whatever. I'm overthinking it. Highlights will be a normal layer, not a brightness layer, that's for sure. And then... Sorry, I gotta get all this stuff sorted out. I can swap this one to the next one. Fun Festival can't be sad. It's just very, very country western. These colors. Call it shadow colors. I've forgotten the process I used on some of the other ones to go faster, so I'm defaulting to this one. But it'll do. Okay, and then for base colors, we can erase all this nonsense. Because I finally got it figured out. Whew! Okay. Oh boy, shadows next. Okay, so for the shadow values, usually what we do, well, step one is figure out where the light source is going to be. And put it just big old blobs that I remember. For this other one, it looks like the light source was to the front and slightly up to the left. It's not unreasonable. Oops. Here, let me go back into this one, reorient it the original way now. Where would be a good light source angle for this one? Let's see. Crook side would give interesting shadows over here. And like there, which would make it dynamic. Non-crook side, though, would give shadows mostly on the edges. A little bit on that, a little under the hair. Let's do crook side. It's not as dynamic, I'll admit. I want that to be way more visible. Okay, hold on, shadows. Normal. Oh my word. That one needs to be color. To your courtroom, you say? Well, what brings us to this fine establishment? Okay. Shadows. There's the sun. Personally, not a fan. I don't like the explosion of, like, vegetation flavor when you bite into them. I tend to be much more of a fan of spinach myself. Keeps its flavor more contained. Oh, is that the hill you want to die on? Is the green beans? The green beans are actually good hill? Well, we're gonna have a fight there. Because not only am I not particularly a fan of green beans, they're actually genuinely my least favorite food. I'd rather have Brussels sprouts. Unironically. I'm sorry if this causes a rift in our conversations, but that's just the way it is. Right, let's start with the boots and work our way up. Full day? Oh no! How will I survive? I'm doomed. No, I don't want to cut the layer. I just want to save. No goodbye sticker. No! Not the good boy sticker. What am I gonna do without that? Oh, I hit the rats. There we go. Man, I managed to hit so many wrong hotkeys when I'm tired. It's honestly impressive. Okay, on that, can like clean up some edges a little bit. Yeah, Stardew Valley is good for barn music. Catchy barn music specifically. You gotta be careful with the Stardew songs, they're earworms. That's probably like a little too much definition on that one, but that's okay. Okay, the other boot. Light source over there. Angle of this. Yeah. Good old Stardew seasonal music. I can't imagine which season this song is for. Fill all this in a little darker. I'm gonna have to keep moving faster because I don't have time and I don't have energy. Okay, let's see. What's going to be really invisible from the light? This section under here for sure. Maybe like going up a little bit. Perhaps some of the backside up here. We won't get into too much detail there because we ain't got infinite time. And along some of the crevices down there. And also this section. Okay, let's keep moving quick. Keep moving quick. Do. I want to fix one tiny thing down here. Then that'll do. Nope, too far. Went too far. There we go. I mean the shadow for it might be, but I'm gonna try to stick to the original colors that the original artist went with. I mean, unless we were doing like a disco rave version, which would be admittedly quite a lot of fun. That'd be fun to draw. Section in shadow. Bring up loose ends. Tiny bit under there too. Give it some depth. Okay. Once again with the belt, if the light source is up there, we'll have like a little bit of shadow on that, but there's really not going to be like a crazy amount on this. I'm going to keep the belt mostly plain. Got a little shadow over there, but we'll want to figure out the shadow of the whole jacket before we really lean into that part. Okay, let's see, what next, what next? I guess let's do coat or pants. Coat or pants. I mean, I'm glad you think so. Usually the Disney faces are more expressive than this one. That's cool that it reminds you of it. That's actually, I'll take that as quite a compliment. Disney art is pretty cool. We're trying to think through where the shadows are going to land. Character's at kind of an interesting angle for this, honestly. Light source is over there, casting this way. And most of the shadows for this part would actually be on the back. Oops, did I get 1, 2? No, I was right. There we go. But yeah, most of the shadows won't be super visible in this view. That is okay, because we still get more than we would have with the other view. The arm will definitely cast some shadows on here too. The wrinkles will, of course, be adding a little texture and shadow as well. Come under here. Let's see. We'll really bob going there and try to add a little bit for the buttons. But really, we're not going to do too much for that. Let's see. Okay, good. They don't continue all the way up the collar. That would have been awkward. We'll smooth that a little bit. He hinted some shadow going on back there that we'd be able to see. Just a tiny bit with this. I mean, there's a million and one different drawing tips and tricks and strategies and whatever that I could give. The biggest one is, well, if you really want, it depends on what you want to learn. The trick with drawing, and I think the reason a lot of people get disheartened with it so early, is that it's not one skill that you just learn and you're done. It's a whole bunch of separate little ones. And so you can spend a long time and get really good at some of those skills, but still not really be happy with your work because the other ones you haven't figured out yet. So just doing a lot of practice and being patient. And for the record, the practice, I know everyone gives the advice of practice a lot, and most of the time it's like, okay, yeah, but practice what? I don't want to practice garbage, but it's okay to practice garbage. Like, genuinely, people get so afraid of developing bad art habits, and yeah, that's not perfect, but you can correct art habits later. It's better to go and just start getting a feel for it, trying to like look at something and draw it, rather than panicking about being perfect and like only learning the best possible techniques. Just have a go at it, figure out something that works for you at first, which, again, the way to figure that out is just keep drawing, and then eventually, you may draw like 5 or 6 garbage drawings in a row, but one of them will be a little less garbage. And you'll learn from that. The next time you'll be able to use the stuff from that less garbage one and make most of your drawings less garbage than the first group. And then you basically are just doing that on loop forever. And just incrementally, as you do it a whole bunch and a whole bunch, it becomes better and better until, in fact, the art is not garbage at all. And the other secret is that most of the time, you'll feel like your art is garbage for much longer than anyone else does. And your art may actually be perfectly decent way before you feel like it is. So don't wait until it's perfect to share it, and don't wait until it's perfect like to think that you're ready to go. Like, you can absolutely like start doing things way before it's like you're there. Heck, I started streaming to learn art. I definitely did not wait until I was good at art to start streaming. And it's worked. It's forced me to practice a lot on a schedule, and it has made me much better at art than I would have been if I was just keeping up my old pace. So, yeah, unfortunately, the advice really is the old Nike advice of just do it. You'll probably hate the results, but if you keep doing it, and not just copying your first drawing, but keep actually looking at something and trying to draw it, you'll get better and you'll hate it less. But even hyper pros frequently dislike their own art. So whether or not you like the art doesn't really matter so much as whether or not it's a little better than your previous art. That's the only thing you really need to compare it against is your past art. Of course, saying all that is easier than doing it. We, as humans, we love to compare and contrast, and that's how we think about the world. So you're constantly fighting your own brain, and your brain's like, this is bad, you should stop, and then you're like, no, but it's not though. Or at least it's not as bad as it was. It's funny. It's definitely. Oh yeah. I mean, my quick advice is never quick. I studied history in school, which means I wrote a lot of essays, and I learned how to explain something long. I don't really actually do quick tips. Yeah, be careful of ever getting me talking about an actual history topic. You'll be here all day. Okay, and I'm going to actually adjust the belt shadow a little bit. Knowing what I do now. Lean into that shadow a little more. And even lean into the shadow because, this bag is probably going to be causing that to bend a little bit. That's all perfectly fine. Oh yeah, no, you don't want me talking. I mean, I love to talk about history. I can talk about it all day and then some. If this was a history podcast, we'd have easily been on this episode number of just me talking to myself without drawing. So, that said, it does depend on the era. If you want, I don't know. If you want modern history, I'm actually not that helpful. I studied medieval and earlier, although not limited to Europe. Because really, you can't study medieval history and just study Europe. Everything was super connected. But that's me about to go on a history tangent, so I'm going to stop. Well, thank you. I try to be. The idea of this whole streaming dealy bop was so that I would practice, and then hopefully other people would learn from watching me practice, and I would get tips from them, and it'd be sort of like a cooperative teamwork learning thing, which so far kind of happens. I'm happy to share tips. I'm always happy to hear tips and get feedback. I mean, preferably constructive feedback and not just garbo, your work trash, goodbye. But yeah, no, mostly, it's supposed to be helpful. It's kind of the goal. Yeah, not yet. Although you can obviously still encourage people if you see other people doing it. And you don't have to know how to draw in order to, like, give advice. You just have to be careful with that a little bit, because some people give lots of really bad advice. But generally speaking, you can still, like, review, and you can study and learn and all that stuff. And there's things you can help with besides drawing, of course. Everyone's got different skills. The wrong way. Light source up there. That's not perfect, but it'll do in a pinch. And when it comes to time, we are in a pinch. Okay, so most of this is going to be completely out of view from the light, so that's fine. That'll make this hand easier. Only, you know, as it's wrapping around, then we'll get some. And the bag is itself going to cast a bit of a shadow too, which will be interesting. And this one, basically all shadow. That's okay though. Oops, forgot to close an edge. There we go. I can even go a little darker for some of this stuff. I don't know why I'm getting this in-depth for the shading on this. Okay, no, I need to actually do the, like, correct color because it's all in one layer. So I don't quite have layer management down to do all this stuff on fully separate layers. I would lose everything always. Okay. Not perfect, but again, good enough. Let's grab the belt buckle, and then I think we'll be in a good place to do... well, I guess we could do sleeves, we could do pants, tail, or cane, and then we'll do head last, most likely. And then highlights, but I tend to do a lot fewer of those. You get most of the contrast in the shadow stage. And that side can be in shadow too. I don't know. I kind of doubt it at this point. I mean, I can check. Well, no, it says Galactic's still in the viewing list, although that list takes like forever to update. So I don't know, maybe. Let's see. I know my stream tends to be pretty quiet and chill, all things around, so I'm frequently like a good background noise stream. I get used for that a lot, which I am a-okay with. Happy to provide. Let's see. Added alert command, but it's not really necessary. It's like some people like to declare that they're lurking, but some people like to, you know, lurk in secret because that's kind of the whole point of lurking. So. Ah, yeah. Well, good luck with that. If you got banned from the kitchen, I can't help you. My authority doesn't stretch that far. Try to do is sort of the shadow of the crook. Oh, hey, welcome back. And yeah, definitely no worries. If you got to deal with a headache, that's, you know, you don't need to be listening to people chat. You got to go deal with that. So, like, yeah. Let's see. Clean this one up a little bit. I'm overthinking the shadows on this piece. But that's part of the fun of it. Yeah, I suppose the intention of the kitchen has a bit of an impact, doesn't it? That's probably good on that one. This one we can lean into the shadows a little more from the angle. Uh-oh. You gotta be careful, Galactic. Tomato's a clever one. Yeah. I mean, that probably causes a looping error, and like it's sort of like the Gandhi nukes in Civilization, where like that puts you all the way back at 255. I think that's how that works. That's still a really funny bug. Let's see. Take this, and I'm actually going to fill it even a stage darker down there. Oh dang! Well, good luck. You are so fast on those. I'm always blown away. It's really impressive. My art is, well, as you can see, I'm like rendering values and colors separately. I take an eternity. And yeah, we'll try to keep Tomato away from the stove if we can. That's probably smart. Just love the detail. There's so much wonderful detail to be added. Oops, nice. We got this one, so we want one darker. Nice. With that light source where it is, we're not going to have a lot of shadow on this. Maybe just a tiny bit in there. No, I can already tell that's going to be a pain. Yeah, I thought so. Let's just... Damn, I can't do a clipping layer. This would be fairly easy. Well, I'll just do my kind of warpy shadow, and it'll give the cane a little bit of texture. Come on, stay with me. Right, first off, how we looking? Barely noticeable, but it'll do. What? What's the secret? What's the news? Better not be that you managed to get your hand on some boiling water. I can't have failed Galactic that quickly. That would be embarrassing. That doesn't sound like something Galactic would say. Galactic's way too nice for that. Okay, we're almost at the end. Oh, you have proof, do you? Well, I'm intrigued. Let's see. I'm curious what evidence you have. Yikes, we're so short on time. Okay. Pants and tail next, and then we'll just work our way up from there. Are you sure about that? That still really doesn't sound like something Galactic would say. Galactic's really nice, and like usually doesn't say mean stuff like that. Also, the objection that Galactic ain't a she either. If we're going to be taking this to a court case, we've got all sorts of things that we need to update about this testimony. Let's see. Yeah, no worries. It's an easy mistake. I feel like it's only really an issue when people do it on purpose or they like intentionally keep doing it. Like it's being mean spirited about it that causes the problems. Like a whoopsie here or there, most people won't get too mad about. Let's see. I gotta get the shading for these baggy pants, which is fun shading, but not fast shading. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, you still have evidence, though? I'm intrigued. Court will gladly accept this additional testimony. Right, the pants have pockets. That's wonderful. Good pants. This going. Let's see. Okay. Big shadows in here, so I'm going to try to use the fill tool to expedite just a little bit. Yeah, Pomato. Ah, don't do that. No. Your hand won't like it. Trust me. Hands hate boiling water. I mean, if you mean the 3D modeling tool, that's actually pretty impressive. If you mean like the thing with spinning blades of doom, I would not necessarily recommend that. I've heard it's an unpleasant experience. Let's see. Well, very well. Please don't put your hand in a blender. Your hand will appreciate it not being blended. Thank you. On behalf of your hand, many thanks. Let's see. Might be better done with a highlight on some of those. We'll catch the edge of the scales. That'll be fun. Crud, 15 minutes. Oh no. Okay, let's see. We'll have a little bit around here that's not getting the light. That's fine. A tiny bit over there. Nothing crazy on that one. Skin tone. Maybe a lot more shadow on this part. Bobbing? You mean like posting, like bobbing for apples, or like posting that copy pasta of Bob around the internet again? Or just like going up and down gently in the river? Ah, bobbing for apples. Now, I'm not sure I've ever seen people do it in person. Maybe a long time ago at a festival or something. Looks like it's fun. Although there's probably like food safety laws now, and so we can't do it anymore. Which, yeah. Yeah. I don't recommend doing that with boiling water either. I mean, I guess you'd have a baked apple, but you'd also have a baked, mouth, which is not generally recommended by doctors in really any sense of the word. Right, that's turning into clown. Gotta fix that. I mean, you technically have the ability to do whatever you want as long as it's not in the kitchen, because Galactic banned you. However, again, not recommended, but it is technically your choice. You have the freedom to make bad choices. Hey, Scopic, how are you doing? Tomato here was just contemplating an interesting activity idea. Do you want to weigh in on that concept? Tomato, do you want to tell Scopic about what you're considering? I mean, yeah, I guess if you bring it to your room, as long as you don't have to go to the kitchen to get it. Tomato was considering, yeah, sticking the hand in boiling water or even bobbing for apples in it. I was throwing out there that that's probably a bad idea. Oh yeah, I mean everyone has those thoughts for sure, but the shadow's a little too intense. Maybe we chill on this part. Yeah, I get brow ridge and whatever, but not thrilled with that face shadow, but we'll start with that. Scopic, do you remember those old phones? The ones that would blow up if you left them like alone or charged them? It was a whole deal for a while. Yeah, it's one of those. Those were the Note S7s. Yeah, Pomato is trying to find every loophole that exists. There we go. Go one darker for the shaded hair back here. Oops. There's not a 4th degree, but I think it has to do with the degree of tissue damage. It's fairly morbid. I think 3rd is already like you don't have tissue anymore, so. Well, you'd have to find some first. That stuff's not easy to come by. Yeah, lava doesn't play nice. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna go back, wow. I'm going to do less face shadow, just because it's not really like going the way I'd like. And it still mostly works with the angle without it, so, or with less. Mate, 20 bucks is way too cheap. You need to value yourself more. Okay, and then highlights, again, we don't do very much. I've really only got 3 that I plan to do. Because I'm not shading the eyes, typically. Grab this, we go a couple degrees lighter. Just to get some of the reflection. It's right there. Same with the horns, just like a little bit. Though again, I need to make sure that we're... Yeah, we can go 2 lighter for that bold reflection. And then for the tail spikes. Yeah, I think I've got some yogurt lying around. May have gone bad. Hopefully not. Do you like key lime or cherry or just like plain vanilla Greek yogurt stuff? Strawberry is good too. I do like strawberry. And strawberry. Okay. So, we have left ourselves exactly 5 minutes for colors, which is probably not enough, but I think we can probably get further than you'd expect. Because colors are the thing that I'm fast at, typically. And we already have a color palette right here. Ah, vanilla. Okay, I'll have to beam it to you through the internet, so it might take 6 to 8 years. Sorry, internet speeds aren't that fast for sending physical objects yet. Try to get like a middle tone for this. This will become our pants color for the palette. I'm going to throw it on the value layer even though it's objectively not a value. And since not pants, boot. Okay, and then we'll grab this for our base colors. I'm actually going to hide the shadows and highlights for a second here. And we can basically go ham with this. Anything that needs to be this color of brown. Tomato. I mean, maybe eventually. I'd say you'd have a better luck going to the supermarket than vibing it through the internet, but it could happen. Let's see. And then same brown for the tunic up here. We'll start with this. Actually, yogurt is one of those weird foods where the legal definition of it is super strict, so almost everything you see at the store will be labeled like either a subtype of yogurt or a yogurt product or a yogurt other thing, because no one can meet the literal legal definition. It's really funny. I'm going to grab like a slightly warmish brown in here. Add that for our belt. Bag. Just a little bit there. And I'm kind of thinking about trying to add it with the under the laces. That'd be a nice little bit of pop. The light and shadows are already going to make it pop a lot, so maybe we don't need to worry about that. Yes, a beauty bar. I think that one's less legal definitions and more advertising to try to make it stand out. But yeah, the things they come up with are so silly sometimes. Yes, I dare not allow myself to make contact with measly soap. I must partake only in the highest of quality beauty bars. Like, crazy talk. Whatever. Let's see. So we grabbed skin tone. We'll probably have to let's go for a slightly less yellow one, just to try to match the actual skin tone to the palette we've got here. May have to tweak this a little bit. I just had the weirdest deja vu, and I have no idea why. This conversation about it being crazy to like yogurt while I'm drawing something. We've definitely not had this conversation in chat before. This is new. Okay. Hold on. Need to get kind of a goldeny hair color. That's a pretty bold one. The shading method does result in bold colors, which is kind of fun. I'll have to do some tweaks though to make sure this all plays nice together. Let's see, and then we can kind of grab, I don't know, this tone maybe for the pants. Oh yeah, I feel like the whole point of deja vu is that it's stuff that hasn't happened. If you get deja vu for something that has happened, it's not deja vu, it's just you remembered something. Okay, hold on. I guess the tunic is a little bit for this direction. Not like a ton, though. Okay. Let's see. I'm actually... The tunic also seems to nicely match the, like, scales on the bottom of this. Oops, okay. I want to grab, like, a green somewhere in here. Yeah. Let's see, what remains? More of the skin tone. I'll grab some of that. Get it for the hands. Let's see, this little bag is... I'm going to go with the same tone as the horn, actually, because I don't want to get too many colors going on in here, because we're going to add shadows and everything, but it is a little different from everything else. And then we've got, of course, this silvery gray belt buckle, which I'm actually going to jump to the blue section of the color spectrum and just do a super, super faint one. Give it a little bit of more of a metallic pop. Yeah, stream plus yogurt, but we haven't done that before. I'm fairly confident. Not that that would be like the most hyper memorable conversation, but I've only been streaming a little over a year. Like, it's feel like that would not have come up all that much. I knew there was something else that was this green. It was the eyes. Oh, right. Okay, hold on. Take that, and then I need to fill it in on the value layer. Boop, boop. And then same deal for the irises, actually. Okay, now I can go on this color. Let's get our green back. Boop. Okay. The character is starting to come together. Let's see. Peter Pan, you say? Yeah, we need to give them one of those. I forget the name of it. It's got like 6 different names, and it's all of them are hysterical. But those distinctive hats are the best. I'm gonna go ahead and make the horns like a little closer to white, so that they pop more. Or maybe we could leave them like this slightly darker. Actually, that kind of works too, because the horn color really does sort of match the sleeve color in the original. Oops, that's on the value layer. And we're not gonna. This isn't actually a character sheet, so I'm not gonna use a color key on it. So, now that we've done this, this is where the fun part begins. Let's bring in. I'm actually gonna do the highlights first because there's barely any of them. Now, I'm going to grab the green. We're going to go to our highlight colors layer. But instead of just, doing the green over these highlights and having it just, yeah, that works. That looks nice. Actually, I need to fix a tiny bit on the base colors and fill that in all the way. There we go. Honestly, that would actually be a pretty distinctive logo and probably do well on YouTube. Let's see, but in the highlight colors, we could just do that. And yeah, that's a nice highlight. But what I'd rather do is actually shift the color just a tiny bit. So let's see, for the highlight, I'm going to lean towards... Let's lean towards the blue a little bit. And it'll make it pop just that little bit more. I'm going to say that this is a slightly bluish light source that we're dealing with rather than the natural sun. So we'll do slightly bluer highlights and slightly redder shadows. It should be interesting. Let's see. For this, I'm going to take the cane color. And once again, we're going to move the highlight not all the way, but like we'll catch it sort of in the magenta zone a little bit and see how that does. That might be too much, but we'll start with that. And then for this one, once again, we're starting with yellow. Let's move it a little more towards the blue. I mean, this minty again. I tend to go a little too far with it sometimes. It ends up looking pop arty almost, which is fun, but not exactly what we're aiming for. So maybe we could lean. Honestly, a green highlight would make like a softer green highlight would work better on that. And for the cane, I can probably tone it down just a little bit. We can kind of lean more towards the awkward yellows. And that'll work. Now the highlights are the easy part, because I don't usually mess with that many highlights. The shadows are where this gets complicated because we got a lot to sort out. So I'm just going to start from the bottom and work our way up. Sometimes the black shadows just work. Sometimes they super don't. With this gray, it's so dark that my brain, like for a second, I was like, did we already color this? No, we didn't. So I'll grab this brown. And we said we were going to go slightly warmer for the shadows. So I'll pull slightly warmer. And let's not do it on the highlight colors layer because that won't do anything. Let's do it on the shadow colors. And it'll give us just a more rich palette going into this. This trick, courtesy of, I've seen the advice a bunch of places, but especially like Pinterest won't stop having posts telling me to do this. And I can't deny, it does look good. Chill out and do a little detail work. While we're doing the browns, I'll go up and the only other brown that's the same as this one is the shirt. So I actually want to grab that same red that we were using. And let's just, on the shadow colors, we'll fill it in for the shirt too. I'm going to take a little more detail work for this, so we don't run into everything else. You really think it is Peter Pan? I mean, it's got the brown and green color scheme, but beyond that, I don't necessarily like, I guess kind of era clothing. What? Actually, that's my curiosity. What about it has given you Peter Pan vibes? Because I genuinely love to know. Because I had another character I was making that ended up like looking a ton like Peter Pan, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out why. That wasn't on stream though, so I'd love to know if there's something in my art style or something that like emanates Peter Pan. The face. Yeah, I can believe that. Faces are still something that I'm trying to work on. Galactic, thank you for cleaning the table up. Oh no, really? Omni-Man is? That's gonna be... That, I guess he's probably on the same power level as a lot of those characters. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Oh, jeepers. Omni-Man versus Homelander, which is more evil competition? Let's see. Yeah, probably Omni-Man, just for the sheer volume of, like, destruction he's aiming for. But on the flip side, it feels like Homelander's evil is more directly self-serving, which feels like it should make it a bigger criminal offense, even if it probably doesn't. I don't know, they're both terrible. That's fair. I haven't actually seen him fight ever. Okay. Gonna do the same thing. Let's get for more reddish, but not crazy red, just, more red. I like this pants color. I think this would be a fun shadow. This part, though, is definitely calling for the fill tool. This little fiddly section, less so. This down to a more reasonable size, keep filling in. I know we're technically over time on the stream, but we are actually quite close to the goal, so I may power through. Even with my need for sleep, like, this shouldn't take us too much longer. Because all the work I did up to this point, besides... oh, right, we haven't done the tail yet, that's fine. I thought I forgot to color it for a second. All the work we've done up to this point is basically to make this step super easy. Let's see. The cafeteria is in chaos with all the tables flipping. Someone's going to call the principal soon at this rate. What's that quote? If Skopic jumped off a bridge, would you do that too? No, I'm kidding. Skopic probably wouldn't jump off a bridge unless there was a valid reason to, like there being a fire on the bridge or something like that. Yes, oh no. Skopic, you gotta be careful, you're an example now. Let's see. I think the lesson is generally you just need to make your own informed decisions whenever possible. Okay, which things are the same color? The shirt and the tail are the same color. Let me do the little bags first, then. We can get the browns and such sorted out. Let's see. Oh, this one's a deep brown. Is this one like... No, the boot's the lighter one. This is really just like the deep dark browns going on here. Well, that'll make it interesting. We can start leaning more into the magentas for those shadows then. And look, even with all these crazy bold colors... Oi! I mean, that's a lot of chaos, and I'm down for chaos, but let's maybe steer clear of suicidal jokes. I do appreciate the joke signifier, though. Always good to label that stuff, but... Let's see. Don't steal the stop signs. We need those. Otherwise, traffic won't ever stop. Knock yourselves out then. Have fun. Actually, that does give me an idea for who we should raid after this stream. Let's see. Okay. Hold on. For this one, already blue, so we'll lean it more towards like... Oh, we'll go pretty intense on this one, Shadow. Well, okay, no, that's too intense. Too intense. Rein it in a notch. Okay. There's still so much to do. Let's do the tail next. Because the tail matches some of this other... Well, we can do the green, because that doesn't match a whole lot except the eyes, which don't have shadows, so... And because it's fun. And lean it all the way to the bottom. See how that looks. Let's see. Yeah, if you had to go first and then paint it green, it'd be really hard because you have to paint around the letters. But I feel like a lot of people just pay attention to those solely from the shape. Like, if it's still an octagon, I think people are going to hesitate. I may go slightly more into the brown for this as opposed to a full yellow for the shadow. Or as opposed to a full red for the shadow. That might work a little better. Yeah. Yeah, I think I like that better. That's true. Beginner drivers definitely would not have the muscle memory, and they'd just be like, this wasn't in the test, what is this? Shape means stop, but green mean go. Ah! Okay. Let's see. We'll start with that. Although that would imply that we need to use the pink shading for quite a lot of this, actually. Which I'm inclined to try real quick, because I like using pink as a shadow color, actually. But it may be a little too much for this piece. May have to rein it in just a notch. No, that kind of works actually. Maybe we go for like a little more of a like purpley instead of the full-on pink. Let's see if that's different. Yeah, okay, I feel like that's more clearly the shadow. I may leave the pink for the tail though, just because it's kind of fun. Wait, which kind of court is this? Is this a law court, or are we about to play basketball? This is important information. I said no such thing. This is slander. I mean, that said, the sky can become yellow sometimes, but I think as a general baseline, it's not. No, you know what? I see what Scopic means. Scopic's right. Let's see, would blue be better? I mean, it's still going to be pop arty, and I kind of like that, but I worry not everyone actually likes that style, and so I don't like gifting art that's going to be in a weird style. Oh, we definitely just filled the whole background of the layer. Yeah, but we were aiming for slightly more reddish shadows, so I'm gonna stay on theme and stick with our purple. We can do the bluish one on the horn, though. Awesome! Fastest court case ever! Okay, skin color shadows. And I have learned that I need to be way more tame on the skin color shadows than most others. It definitely gets Uncanny Valley for people if you go as pop arty on the skin art colors, as I've done with the shirt. Oh wait, that's not... Yeah, okay. Let's see. For that too. And... okay, there's a few gaps in this, but that's okay. Easy to patch. Let's see. Okay, now hair is one where you can go pretty intense with the shadows. So I'm actually going to go like leaning almost towards like a purple again. Let's see if that's too far. It might end up being too far. Just because we got some like accent highlights and stuff going on. Ah, rats, there goes the background again. Let's see. That does end up just looking like it's dyed. I'm gonna go back more towards the reds. We'll come back with a brush for that section. Just want to know if the general feel will be good first. I don't know that the fishing's very good in LA. Yeah, that feels like it's in a nice warm light, which we weren't doing warm light, but that's fine. Oh right, I need to be careful around that edge. Okay. Okay, clear up some loose ends there. Whoops, that was too far. Okie dokie then. Just some stuff I need to fix on the base colors layer real quick, and I think we'll be golden. Let's see. Yeah, I figured it might. Oftentimes it's really stuff that needs to be fixed on the value layer. Or is that on the shadow layer? Ah, okay, it's an issue on the shadow layer. Layers. Why are you so wonderfully confusing sometimes? Let's see. I see the court has reached a ruling. That's good. That's good. Suspect that one is, yeah, gap in the base colors. Okay, let's see. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Shadow colors. Let's try this again, shall we? That makes more sense. Okay. Well, I'm debating. I doubt flipping will help with this, but I still. Let me actually flip the real thing. No, it still kind of works. I think we're pretty close to being done. Can I get final review? What are we thinking about the purple and pink shading for like the arm? Is that too much? Do I need to tone that down? It pops. It's kind of fun, but I worry that it might not be clear what's happening. Not to interrupt y'all's fishing. Okay, that's a vote from Scopic. I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, it's fun. I like this. Let's run with it. Thank y'all. I almost second guessed myself out of it entirely. Cool. Then I think that's gonna be it for Izetta. I mean, I'm probably gonna add like a single background shape or something. Just to make her pop a little bit. Somewhere like down here maybe. But otherwise, I mean, this is basically it. This will be ready to post, which means that we actually finished an art fight kind of on time for once. That never happens. Ah, yes, the robot arm that they totally definitely have. Yep, I'll have to make sure that I enhance that in the final version. Good call out. Good call out. In the bio, their bio was only like one sentence. Did I miss something? Did they update it? Or am I getting joked on? I think I'm getting joked on. It's one sentence that just clarifies that they're a dragon girl / D&D character. Is it hidden in the tags? Nope, just hashtag dragon girl and D&D. Here, I'll make sure we'll have to make sure that there's a dragon arm variant at some point. But not within the duration of Art Fight, because we are running out of time for that. Let's see. Hold on. Come on. This tablet, the one thing it's bad at is double clicks. And I did the wrong thing. There we go. Okay. Now value I want to drop to like 75. That was the wrong thing to drop. No, it wasn't. There we go. That makes it pop. Oops. Give him like a JoJo stand shadow or something. Ooh. They're actually going to release it for... Okay, that'll be cool. Tailspire is a blast. Yeah, I don't know. Mac can run that stuff pretty well usually. Stuff like Tailspire should be fine. Let's see. Okay, well that's slightly more dramatic background than I intended. Maybe too distracting. Oh, but that kind of works. Ooh, I like that. It makes them look like they're like kind of a paper cutout of the character. Okay, yeah, let's go with that. Okay, well then that might be an issue. Let's see. Not really. Let's see, create folder and insert layers. Izetta. And now I can do the final little finishing touch, which is nearly crashed my app moving it, but at least centering it in the frame. Waiting for it to finish. Cool. Okay. Well, that one turned out well, and not only did I learn a few interesting shading techniques with line work from this character, I really like their squiggles, like their precision squiggles that they use to get some texture on fabric and also a little shadow on it. We learned how to do a type of boot and laces that we hadn't done before, and we learned a new background technique, so awesome. All in all, quite happy with this. But it's also 30 minutes over the usual stream time, and I still got to upload this tonight before I go to bed, so I need to get that started, which unfortunately means that I need to wrap up for tonight. So for the stream, I'll wrap it here, and then... for the YouTube video, I'll wrap it here. And then for the stream, I've actually got a raid based on our conversation earlier, so I know just where to send y'all. And I'll probably post the actual art fight attack tomorrow. It's still within the confines of art fight. It's fine. But yeah, thank y'all for coming by. It's been an absolute hoot having y'all in chat. Been a blast. For everyone on YouTube, I'm going to say farewell at this point. Y'all have a good afternoon, evening, night, 3 a.m., whenever it may happen to be. And then we'll continue on with the stream. So, bye, YouTube folks. And boom.